All right, youth turnout for the 2022 midterms is on track to match 2018's record-breaking turnout that delivered Democrats the House. That's according to a recent Harvard poll. But that same study showed that 42% of young voters don't think their votes make a difference. I'm here to tell you that is simply not true. In 2020, young voters backed Joe Biden by a 25-point margin, which helped lead him to victory. And beyond the polls, many young people have been in the streets mobilizing and fighting for justice, but I have to say we need a lot more. With so much at stake, the question is, will young people save us? This is a young person's game. Joining me now is Dinorah Getachew, CEO of DoSomething.org, and Chris Smalls, interim president of the Amazon Labor Union. Thank you both for being here. Dinorah, I want to start with you. You know, I think a lot of young people don't necessarily connect the issues in their daily life with politics. So what are some issues that impact young people? And what are some issues that young people care about that they may not be making that connection?
Thanks so much for having me on today, Tiffany. You know, your last segment, Nyla made the right point, and I want to just start there, right? Young people, like you said, are very passionate, and they care about causes. They care about a democracy that's accessible, representative, and equitable. They care about access to mental health supports. We've all been living through a pandemic, and young people are coming of age at a moment where there's an economic downturn coming, where there's uncertainty about educational opportunity, and where they don't have economic autonomy. And so I think when we look at young people, and I do that through the lens of running DoSomething.org, the largest organization dedicated to young people and civic engagement, what we see is that young people are passionate about causes, but a third of our young people, ages 13 to 25, are just confused about what to do, right? So they know that saving the planet's important. They know that having this democracy that represents them is important. But then there's this moment where they're having to look in the mirror and say, but who's letting us sit at the table? Who's giving us our power in order to make a difference? And so that's what we're here to do at Do Something, is really be this activation hub for young people. So they not only care about the causes that matter, but they understand the system, democracy, that actually affects their ability and controls their ability to make changes on those causes.
Well, Chris, you didn't wait for anyone to invite you to the table. You built your own table. I love your story, so I'm very happy to have you making your debut this morning on The Cross Connection. You grew up in Jersey, pursued a career as a rapper, even toured with Meek Mill, and then you started working at Amazon, and you were essentially fired for organizing, and you fought back, and you said, nah, that ain't gonna work for me, and you unionized. I mean, you toppled a corporate giant, so to speak on behalf of workers and maintain workers' rights. I'm curious for you, because that is a representative organization, when you can have a say in what your work life looks like, much how a representative democracy says what your government can look like. I'm curious your thoughts on young people getting involved and what message you would send to young people who think, my vote doesn't really make a difference.
Yes, well, definitely the time is now. You know, I think the pandemic really opened up the eyes in this country, especially for us deemed as essential workers, to be put in a position where we didn't have a voice, we didn't have a say. The government pretty much told us we're essential workers, we gotta go to work while, you know, the country is being shut down and we're working during this deadly pandemic. We had to create our voice, and the company, the bosses, the corporations that employ us, they had to take care of us. And when I realized that, you know, I didn't have too much of a say when they terminated me, I realized that coming together, collectively bargaining and bringing people together, it realized that bringing people together, we have power when we come together. And that's for the younger generation. They have to lead the way. You know, this is something that is unprecedented times that we live in. And my message to the young people is, you know, this is our moment to really take control of what our future looks like in this society that we're trying to form and shape now.
Yeah, I just love, I'm a fan, brother. I love what you did at Amazon. And even what happened with Meek Mill, that's all politics. You know, in some states, judges are elected. You can shape, it's about reimagining what democracy looks like. And that's what young people have to be inspired to do. Dinorah, I also think it's a lack of knowledge around civics. Voter turnout was very low in the midterms, particularly in the state of Georgia. This was a crucial Senate race, as you know. Herschel Walker Walker will square off with Raphael Warnock. Thankfully, Raphael Warnock is ahead by 10 points in the polls there. But when you get to turnout, young people, they just did not show up at the polls when it came to the primary. We're putting on our screen there, and you see that they represented only 4.1% of the vote. When you look at another key state like Pennsylvania, we don't have the breakdown on the numbers, but it shows that what campaigns spend money on, young people are like last. They're just not a priority. And so these two things are helping a small group of people introduce policies that do not serve the masses. Your thoughts there on what can be done about that?
That's such an important point that you raised, Tiffany. What I would say is there's so much opportunity, right? And so the young viewers who are watching, know this, that you are creating this new American majority. Between the 2020 election and the 2024 election, 17 million young people will enter our electorate. The face of our electorate will forever change. And so I want to encourage all young people. One, I understand that there's incredible distrust in the process, but be clear, it's our responsibility to learn how the process works, right? So in your states, you can understand how you register to vote online, vote early. So many states have automatic voter registration and early voting tools that make voting more accessible. We need to make sure that we are demystifying democracy for young people. And so you spoke about civics education. I used to lead a regional office of a national nonprofit focused on getting civics in schools. The reason that young people don't actually understand how democracy works is because we're not teaching it to them, right? And so we have an obligation as a society and a country to make sure that our education system includes that fundamental understanding of how does a bill become a law, Schoolhouse Rock, if you will. And then we also have to know that this democracy is for the young people. So I want them to care about the causes, but they also can't be slacktivists. So I don't want them tweeting or Instagramming their way to the election. That is a tool in the toolbox for sure. But what we need them to do is register to vote, vote early, make sure they're staying engaged and that they keep voting, because change doesn't happen just in that first time. It is a full context.